everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Sewing School. Today is ham day. Not that ham, this ham, a Tailor's ham. We're going to make one, so let's get started. We are going to need our pattern, some cotton muslin and some quilting cotton, some cotton flannel or wool. Now, all of the fabrics that we use in this do have to be heat friendly at the highest heat settings, so we are going to be using only cotton or wool fabrics. First thing we are going to do is assemble our pattern. There are only 2 pieces for this pattern, and what I am going to do here is get some tape and a pair of scissors, and I am just going to cut down one side. You can pick any side that you choose. Line up the little shapes here and here. Put a bit of tape. Put a bit more tape because tape is good on patterns. Okay, now I like to tape the back of my patterns as well, just because I feel like it makes them better for folding up. And then what we are going to do is go ahead and cut out this pattern. Now, something to note, this blue line, or if you're on a black and white printer, this will also be a shade of gray, but it'll be the interior line, is your stitching line. This is where you're going to put your stitches on your sewing machine. The outer line with the scissors on it, this is where we're going to cut out. So let's go ahead and meet back here after you have cut out on the black line. We have a pattern that is cut out, and now we are going to be cutting this out of fabric. So we need 2 lining layers. So we are going to be using our plain muslin for the interior lining. So this is actually just going to help keep the stuffing in, and we're going to have 2 outer layers. These are going to be what we see from the outside. One of those layers is going to be your wool or cotton flannel. One of those layers is going to be your quilting cotton or whatever your pretty fabric is. And so one side smooth, one side grippy. All right, so here I have my bit of muslin fabric, and I am going to steam it nice and smooth. I'll go ahead and steam it on the fold line. I have folded this carefully on grain. And I am just going to make sure that we are super, super flat. We always want to do this before you cut. This eliminates any weirdnesses due to the fact that there are wrinkles in your fabric. Okay, now I have put away my iron, and I am just going to line this up along a line on my cutting mat. If you don't, you can just make sure it's nice and straight on your table. And then I am going to align this to my grain. Since I know that I very carefully folded this on grain, I can go ahead and use my fold line. And to verify that I am on grain, I am actually going to use a ruler and make sure that this is the same distance from the edge on both sides. And I am just going to use some pattern weights there and adjust that a smidge here. There we go. And my pattern weights are trying to stick together. All right, and so I'm going to use a rotary cutter to cut this because I have a cutting mat and a table. You can go ahead and use your scissors and cut this out. You can also use pins if you don't have weights. And I am cutting through both layers of fabric safely with my rotary cutter. Okay, so this is cut out. Now, if you feel that you are going to have any difficulty at all, aligning these layers at any point, even though the shape is pretty even, you can actually use these notches here as alignment marks. I am going to skip that because this shape is pretty basic. So I'm going to set that aside, and we are going to repeat that with our outer cotton and our wool. And I will come back to you here after I have done that. So I have all my pieces, and we are going to talk assembly. So we are going to be making an inside out sandwich. the first thing we're going to do is lay down one of our interior cotton muslin layers. Doesn't matter, right side, wrong side. This is the lining. So then the next thing we are going to do is place our cotton layer, our outer quilting cotton layer, right side up. Then we are going to place our outer wool layer right side up. Now we're just lining all of those edges up. And then we're going to put our last cotton layer, whichever way we feel like. Just lining the edges up and pin. And now I am pinning from the outside because what's cool about pinning from the outside is that whenever you have this in the machine, and I will show you when we get there, you can have this whichever way you like to run it through the machine, right side up or upside down, and those pins will be grabbable. This is a little trick I learned a long time ago from a quilter, actually, and it is a super useful trick. All right, so we are going to get this pinned up and be right back. All right, so I have this pinned up and I have gone ahead and marked where I'm going to leave my opening right there. I mark it because, I've sewn it up before and then had to seam rip it. So I kind of like to give myself just a little reminder not to sew that part. Let's go over to the sewing machine and give this a 1/4 inch seam all around, leaving our opening open. Okay, we are back and I have worked my magic at the sewing machine, leaving an opening here. And what our next step is to turn this right side out. Now, this can be a little bit of a stinker, but what I want to show you here is you have to get between the wool and your outer cotton. You don't want to turn it from here and the inner one, or here, we're going to get it. We won't have the things right side out. So stick your thumbs nice and in there. And then the trick is to just kind of get one side going first. Here we go. And once you have one side gotten, it becomes relatively easy. Now, I have never been a fan of turning things like this right side out. So give me a second and we will be done. This is why you backstitch those that edge there really good. All right, so now we have a funny little thing. So the best way to get this kind of in the shape here is to take a somewhat dull thing of some sort, a pen like this that's not sticking out, something that you can get in here, preferably not the tip of your scissors, because that can poke through. And what we're going to do, we're going to put that in there like that. So we're going to put the pen in through the hole. And I'm just going to use this to kind of push all the areas. See how I'm pushing that like that? So pushing those nice and open. And just making sure that all of this has been opened up good. Nothing's wrinkly in there. So let's finish that step. Okay, so now we have our funny little doohickey here, and we are going to stuff it. So I have a secret little house tool, a funnel, that I am going to use to start pouring in my walnut shells here. I'm gonna get those in. So I am gonna make a big old mess, stuff this full of walnut shells, and we will be back when my mess is done. Hi, we are back, and I made a big old mess, and I have cleaned it all up, and we are going to get to hand sewing this closed so it doesn't make any more mess. All right, so what we are going to need is a needle here with some buttonhole thread. What I need to do is make sure that this edge is folded under. I'm going through the wool, and I'm going to make some big stitches to start with. So let's get this closed once. And then after we do that, then I am going to actually whip this correctly. Then once I get these kind of wonky stitches in here, then I will get some nice tight stitches going on. Yes, this is going to be a little messy. I don't actually care that much. This is just for me. I am getting down in to the cotton that is holding that together. And I am just going to make a whole bunch of whip stitches. We're just taking our needle under that layer, coming out this side. Now, if you are right-handed, you'll be doing this from the opposite direction. I happen to be left-handed. We are just going to do this the whole way until this is all closed up. There's a couple of ways I could finish this off. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make actually a French knot, and then I'm going to take this down and in and bring that out. And what that's going to do is wedge the leftover of that thread into the inside here, and then I don't have to worry about it coming loose anymore. All right, so we have finished off our Tailor's ham. Now, just a note, if you are using the walnut shells, this will become quite a heavy piece. This is a big Tailor's ham. I found the walnut shells at my local pet store, so, if that's something that you want to try, please do. My Tailor's ham pattern is available to you. It is in the description down below. It is a pay what you want product. So if you loved this video and you want to see more videos like this, it would help to upgrade camera equipment and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I am here to help you with your sewing needs. So go ahead and click that like and subscribe button down below. Stick around for some more videos. I have in this series a boob ham, which is actually a pressing ham like this in the shape of a boob. It is super, super useful if you make corsets or anything with cups like bras. I also have in this series a seam roll, which will help you to handle long seams. So it's something similar to this. So stick around for those videos, and for more information about Cosplay Sewing School, you can hit my website, cosplaysewing.school.com, or check me out on the socials at Cosplay Sewing School on all of the spaces. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.